Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Chrissy Small, and some of the stories coming up in today's news. What people want to see in the 2016 budget this week. New retirement investment for Somerset. Nelson Regional Development Agency members named, and more. The government will be announcing who will get what part of $21 billion of spending for this year's budget on Thursday this week. This is the National-led government's 8th budget for the country, and it's expected to be fiscally conservative. Finance Minister Bill English is expected to address housing, education, health and benefits. So how are people dealing with the cost of living in New Zealand since 2007? The income of a household in the top 10% have apparently shown an increase of at least $28,000, but households in the bottom 10% have averaged gains of just $3,100. So with Budget 2016 pending, John Key has said he wants to reward bigger earners with tax cuts next year. Currently there are approximately 3.556 million people paying tax in the country. The government allocated spending of $74.9 billion in last year's budget, equalling $21,062 for each taxpayer. If you were in charge of the budget, how would you want your $21,062 spent? We asked people in Richmond where they would like to see the government spend some of the allocated funds.
I'd like to lower the taxes a wee bit for a start. Been paying all my life, and yeah, wouldn't mind a bit of a discount there. Would be quite good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What about other spending? Because tax cuts are not really, I mean, you know, they're not really spending, are they? They're just giving everyone a break. Would you say you're a middle income earner?
Yeah. I think health and education need some boosting along. Yeah, we used to pride ourselves in health and education, and yeah, not so much today, I don't think. No.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Is there anything that you would like to see the government do with the budget, with their spending?
Where shall I start? No, I better not say too much.
Any ideas where they should spend some money?
Health and education.
Yes, health, housing, all the norm that we've been talking about. Yeah.
Are you? Yeah, sorry.
They need to open their eyes and see what New Zealand needs. Let's not just put it in a piggy bank. Let's spend it.
Any ideas what the government should spend some money on?
Health and children.
Thank you. Where should they spend their money?
No comment.
More on health and education.
Right. Any other places?
There's always places that people need money. I mean,
housing?
Definitely, but there is only so much to go around, so yeah.
Key's looking at tax cuts next year. Is that a good thing for the country?
Bound to be.
And what about the budget? What would you like to see the government spending some money on?
I don't know.
Housing?
Housing?
Health?
Health? Education?
Happiness?
Can't buy happiness.
What would you like to see the government do some spending on?
Nothing.
Okay, what about tax cuts? Do you think there should be some?
Because us pensioners need a bit.
Yeah. But how do we pay for everything if we keep cutting taxes?
Well, they got to pull their finger out, don't they? We'll change the government, that'll sort it.
What do you think that'll mean for you?
I really don't even know much about it, to be honest. I haven't been, like, I don't know.
Okay, well they've got billions to spend.
Yep.
And they want to know, well, they'll be announcing where they're going to spend it. Where would you like to see some of that money spent?
Probably, I don't know. I seriously don't know.
Health,
money.
education?
Yeah, I'd say education more so, probably. Yeah, on schools and stuff, better classrooms and all stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you think there should be tax cuts in the budget?
No. No.
What about spending? Do you think they should, anything you'd like to see them spend money on?
Oh, yeah, housing, education, yeah, that's about, yeah.
But no tax cuts?
No.
Health and schools, I think. Yeah.
Okay, what about tax cuts? Do you think there should be any?
Not if they make it do the other things.
So we need taxes.
We do need taxes. We've got to cover the health, support the schools, because that's our future. Yeah.
Do you think companies should be paying more tax?
I don't know what they pay, so I've got no idea.
Maybe less of these dodgy trust funds, eh?
Anybody that's dodgy, yeah, get them. Yeah.
Think we should get tax cuts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm a beneficiary and I find it really hard to, live on a benefit.
Right. Where would you like to see money spent with the budget?
Health and education. But I'd like to see for mental illness, because I've been mentally ill for many years and I don't think that we get enough funding. There's a lot of houses and drop-in centres that have been closed down because no money. No. No, it's really bad. We're lucky in Nelson we've got Nico House, but my cousin lives in Wellington and he's got schizophrenia and he says all the drop-in centres have ceased to exist because there's no funding for them. And I really think that's a shame. I bet if Mr Key's children were mentally ill, he'd do something about it. But that's just my opinion anyway, love.
Investing in aged care seems to bring in the dividends in a business that shows no sign of dying out. Somerset Group has new plans to build a second retirement village in Nelson after buying an 8-hectare site in Richmond recently. The Wellington-based company intends to build a 280-unit village on the site, adding to its existing village in neighbouring suburb Stoke. Somerset estimates Nelson's over 75 population will more than double by 2033. No price was disclosed for the purchase. Chief Executive Julian Cook said in a statement that their existing village in the Nelson suburb of Stoke is the company's largest village to date and has been one of their fastest growing. That village is nearly complete, and with the strong continued interest the company is saying, they will now be able to provide an additional high-quality contemporary retirement village, living and care options to meet the growing local demand for both the Nelson and Tasman district areas. Somerset has been acquiring land and accelerating its construction rate as the baby boomer generation enters retirement age, with expansion plans underway in Auckland and Christchurch. Cook said in April that the company aimed to double its national footprint over the next 6 years as it develops sites in Wigram, Warkworth, Hobsonville and Trentham, and prepares to open a new village in Ellerslie towards the end of the year. In February it purchased a second site in Hamilton. The Richmond site is Somerset's 5th location in the South Island, bringing the total number of sites to 27 nationwide. 6 new board members will be joining the recently appointed Chair, John Palmer, to form the governance body of the newly established Nelson Regional Development Agency, the NRDA. The new organisation, NRDA, has now been created by the merging of Nelson Tasman Tourism and Nelson Economic Development Agency in order to improve a collaborative approach to Nelson's economic development. The board members are Kevin Armstrong, Martin Byrne, Alan Dunn, Marina Hurst Tristram, Chris Jackson and Meg Matthews. Mr Palmer, who currently chairs the Nelson Regional Development Agency Establishment Board, which has made good progress on the transition of the 2 existing agencies, said that these appointments will bring further value to this new organisation. Mayor Rachel Rees is confident the newly appointed board and chair will create a firm foundation for future success, and thanks former board members and staff of NTT and the EDA along with the Transition Group board members, who she says have all done an excellent job while assisting in what she believes will be a successful and smooth transition to the new organisation. The new board and chair will now have the task of appointing a chief executive before the NRDA is established in July 2016. The Nelson Marlborough Public Health Service confirms that there have been no more cases of measles notified by GPs in the Nelson, Marlborough or Tasman regions to date. Last week, a teenager who had recently visited Hamilton and had returned to Nelson was confirmed to have contracted the measles. Nelson's Medical Officer of Health, Dr Ed Kittle, said that non-immune people could be at risk of contracting measles given an outbreak of the disease is occurring in Hamilton, with cases also in Northland and Manawatu. These cases are mainly in teenagers and young adults. Vulnerable unvaccinated people could get measles after contact with people from the North Island through travel or from contact with the Nelson case before that person was isolated. Dr. Kittle said that the teenager is no longer infectious and has been advised that isolation is no longer necessary. He also said that the particular circumstances of the person limited the potential number of people exposed to measles during the infectious period. He said the people attended a specialist education provider, Youth Nelson. This enabled the DHB to very quickly follow up classmates and teachers, about 13 in total, and gave them the appropriate advice. 4 people in the group were possibly vulnerable and were advised to remain isolated from when they could be infectious until the end of the incubation period. An incubation period is the time between exposure to the virus and illness. It usually lasts about 10 days but can range from 7 to 18 days. During this time, the District Health Board has been keeping in touch with a small group of people to check that they haven't developed any measles symptoms. Dr. Kittle said that they are all clear at this stage. Regional GPs are on alert to possible cases presenting and will assess and notify the Public Health Service if appropriate. According to Dr. Kittle, measles is highly infectious to non-immune people and can spread to others in a waiting room. He said that people born before 1969 and people who have had 2 doses of the MMR vaccine are almost certainly immune to measles. If you have definitely had measles in the past, you are also immune. A Nelson manufacturer is using renewable energy as a selling point for his product. Pick Pico of Pick's Peanut Butter believes New Zealand manufacturers could be skirting to the world about making their food and other products using renewable energy, and he's saying it in a video in the New Zealand Food and Grocery Council's Leaders series. Lots of countries are making their electricity by burning fossil fuel, and he thinks it's a market advantage that we've got in New Zealand that we don't recognise enough. There are huge possibilities there for New Zealand manufacturers to be skirting about the fact that we've got all this hydropower and it's not costing the earth anything to be making our electricity with the renewable resources. Pick also spoke about sustainable packaging for his products, saying they use glass jars with metal lids that are completely reusable, and they've now got people all over the country who are using those jars for their preserves, their jams, their bottling and the like. Pico founded the Nelson-based company after selling jars of homemade peanut butter in the Nelson market in the Montgomery car park. He now says it's the biggest selling peanut butter in New Zealand, making 7,000 jars a day, and it's exported to Australia, the US, the UK, Europe and Singapore, with websites covering each region. Pick is big on sustainability and says that they've got a lot of feedback from customers, particularly around their packaging. He sources his peanuts from Australia, ships them to Nelson where they roast them and squash them and send them back to Australia and to the rest of the world. People say, why do you do this? Surely it takes miles to bring peanuts across the Tasman, but we're using hydro-generated electricity, he says. Initially he started putting this on the label just as a marketing thing. Then he realised that it was actually a true statement. The rise of Pix is a Kiwi number 8 wire story, making his own peanut butter because he wanted one with lower sugar content. He remembered his mother and auntie making peanut butter, so he got their recipe, brought a few kilos, roasted them in the oven and squished them up with a bit of salt. He blew up his cheap modern blender in the process. He made a roaster out of a concrete mixer and brought a bench-top grinder and a ton of peanuts from Australia and got to work. He was soon selling a few jars at the market and a year later sold a batch of 48 to a local supermarket. With one thing leading to another, he has become one of our region's success stories.
I make Pix peanut butter. We've been doing that for about 8 years. It's now the best-selling peanut butter in New Zealand, and we're exporting it into Australia, the US and into the UK, as well as Singapore. We get a lot of feedback from our customers around particularly the way we package our peanut butter. I've always tried to keep it as simple as possible and as honest as we can. We put it in a glass jar with a metal lid that's completely reusable. And we've got people all over the country who are using our jars for their preserves, their jams, their bottling and the like. So it's taken it right into the heart of people's homes, and people really feel close to it. We roast our peanuts in Nelson. We buy them from Australia. We take them to Nelson, we roast them and squash them and send them back to Australia and to the rest of the world. So people say, why do you do this? You know, surely it takes miles to be bringing peanuts across the Tasman. But we're using hydro-generated electricity. And initially I sort of started putting this on the label just as a marketing thing. And then I realised that it's actually very true. A lot of countries, they're making their electricity by burning fossil fuels or what have you. And I think it's a market advantage that we've got in New Zealand that we don't take enough, we don't recognise enough. I think there's huge possibilities there for New Zealand manufacturers to be skiting about the fact that we've got all this hydro power, and it's not costing the earth anything to be to making our electricity with renewable resources in that way.
We'll leave you now with another group from this month's regional smoke-free Rock Quest Heats, Acoustic Knot from Waimea College. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and Mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297, ytel.co.nz.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Sit and Be Fit is on at the Victory Community Centre Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Victory Community Church, 238 Upper Vanguard Street. School terms only. Fun while you get fitter, work at your level. For more information, please contact Shirley on 547 1433 or 021 121 8023.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa. For more information you can contact Jan on 546 9057 or 027 4577 955. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events coming up from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Hi, I'm Paul Mainland and you're watching Ego TV, or something along those lines.